Hi, today I'm going to talk about the book called Time and the Technosphere by Jose Arguelles. And the main reason I chose to review this book this week is, last year when we were all looking towards the end of the Mayan calendar on the 31st of October 2011, and we said, oh, it's going to be the end of this and the beginning of that. Well, technically, it was the end, well, of an era, but really, it's the end of a period of rulership or a type of an era, yeah. And this is the beginning of like the renaissance of the Moorish Renaissance and just the renaissance of the new feminine energies that are entering the earth. And why I like this book, it explains that time doesn't really exist. Time is a man-constructed idea, and that the calendars that we've been given, the Gregorian calendar, the Julian calendar, of 12 months, were working against nature. It wasn't working with nature, because really there ought to be 13 months and of 30 days each month, but they were broken down in such a way so it worked against our biorhythms, the rhythms of and it so because our biorhythm, we were being forced to wake up to go to work at a certain time and go to bed, and it's working against the rhythms of Earth itself, Mother Earth, nature. So this book just gets into the technicalities of time and the technosphere in which we live in, which is another word is the matrix, and how all the things that are really working against us, working against our potential for longevity and for understanding really our cosmic unity with one another. So the chapters, well, what does it say about this book? It says the book is a groundbreaking study that distinguishes the natural time of the cosmos from the artificial mechanical time under which we are currently living. He defines the actual nature of time as the frequency of synchronization, applying this law of time to an understanding of the entire system of life on Earth. He shows that in order to not destroy Earth's ability to sustain life, we must change our definition of time and adopt a natural harmonic calendar based on the 13-moon 28-day cycle. And until the creation of the Gregorian calendar and the 60-minute hour, most of humanity lived on a 28-day cycle of natural time. The adoption of artificial time has subjected us to a 12.60 time frequency that governs the entire global industrialized civilization, which is referred to as the Technosphere. And with the collapse of the Twin Towers on September the 11th, a fixture was created in this artificial technosphere, opening up the noon sphere, or the Earth's mental envelope. It says humanity has a golden opportunity to leave the strife of the past and enter a time of peace, and adopting a harmonious natural calendar that will repair the damages caused by the irregular tempo of the technosphere time. And this is our last chance to adopt this natural time and step into a bright new promised future by the galactic shift of 2012, and which is the great calendar shift, which he reckons was in 2004. And it says he reveals the clear distinction between the three-dimensional astronomical time and the fourth-dimensional synchronic order of the law of time, which holds enormous potential for the future of humanity. And that's the author there. Okay, and it talks about, it looks at the counters of the Mayan calendar as well. the pontoons and the noon tunes. And but here's the chapters. It's number 1, 9/11, the inevitable event and the nature of time, introductory reflections. Next, preliminary definitions on biosphere, technosphere, noonsphere as an evolutionary continuum. Time and human consciousness, the law of time, what it is and where it came from. The law of time in human affairs, the analysis of history, the climax of history and the 56 years of Hiroshima. Artificial time runs out. The solution of the law of time, get a new calendar. Number 7 is humans, new spheric chips, consciousness and reality redefined. And making the transition to the new time, how to catalogue and a guide to past cultural, past biospheric. Number 9, the advent of the noonsphere, a prayer and a vision. And then it's got apprentices and the epilogue. And the part of this book I found most enlightening. Parts of it even looks at, at the tarot cards, how even some of the tarot cards are based on the noonsphere and the technosphere. Here in this chapter, what have I done? I've said here, it says Earth is called the biosphere, which is the scientific designation given to what is commonly and inadequately referred to as the environment. Bio means life and sphere means having the form of a globe. Okay. And then the synchronicity I've underlined here says the telepathic instantaneity. Yeah. Time as a frequency. The 9/11 marked the end of artificial time. The potential unconscious effects of living in the era of time. So he reckons there's an era of time because really there's no time from the day you get here as a babe, you enter Earth, or from the day you conceived until the day you pass. It's just one long day, and from one lifetime to the next, it's still just one long day because the soul never dies. So it's one continuous time. Even when we sleep, we go to that realm, the astral plane, and other dimensions where, there's no time there at all. So there's artificial time here. Who owns our time? Owns our mind, owns our time, and you own your own time and you will know your own mind. And he was quoting from a book called A Treaty on Time. Time as the 4th dimension. Okay. And here I've underlined some stuff as well. And it says the law of time is entirely locked into the 1320 matrix, otherwise known as harmonic modules or Tolkien, the basis of the sacred count of the Maya. And when we examine the harmonic module, the 13 times 25 matrix, we may well ask, what does that have to do with time? It is obvious as a difference from a clock. As different from a clock as a tree is from a flagpole. When we examine the matrix carefully, we see that there is a repetition of 13 notations, the numbers 1 to 13, and that occurs 20 times, yielding 260, 13 times 20 units. And it goes deep into the understanding and the technical aspects of time, the spirit, the technosphere, the noonsphere, the earth. And it's it even talks about the pentagram here, how this picture. Oh, let me see. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Let's show you some other if I can find some. It's all about our consciousness and our, you know, our awareness, and this paradigm shift that we're all heading into, whether we want to you know, prepare for it or not. And the best way I think to prepare for it is really to you know, to get knowledge, you know, gain knowledge, read as much as you can, and empower yourself, because if you own your own time, then you're the master of your own universe. And this part here, it's in cycles of net time, and it says the Earth is not a spaceship. The Earth is a time ship. As a time ship, the Earth is a function of master synchronization frequencies that coordinates and moves it in time through ever greater circles of inclusiveness and syntropic integration. Since through the noosphere lens of time, the technosphere is highly exaggerated acceleration of the biogeochemical continuum through highly artificial and resource depleting means. It is but a smoking bubble whose fragile struts and frets are laced together by transport and communication systems that yield a cacophony rather than a harmony. So here's one. Oh, God. I don't know if you can see that. So. And this is the 5 time cells, and I think it's about the Mayan calendar there. You can see. Okay. Well, I think it's worth a read, and it will bring some clarity, you know, about time being the 4th dimension. And there's a quick quote and then I'll finish. It says, the French mathematician and philosopher Charles Henry, 1859 to 1926, declared that as the individual becomes more collective, the collective becomes more individual. And as the individuals, we humans are meant to grow into the collective mind known as the noosphere, while the noosphere, which is the collective, can only be known through its incorporating itself into the individual. So there's a thought for you. We need to become more collective, and the collective needs to become more individual. So thank you for joining me again today. Time and the Technosphere, The Law of Time in Human Affairs by Jose Arguelles, PhD. And he's also the author of The Mayan Factor, so that's another good book, and I like it. Thank you. Peace, Hotep, Namaste.